Hello, my name is Adonis and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mid-month spread on all of my cancers out there from February 15th to the 29th. So let's get after it. Okay. Sun, rising Venus and Jupiter, Sun, Moon, rising Venus and Jupiter, Sun, rising Venus and Jupiter, Sun, Moon, rising Venus and Jupiter, Sun, Moon, rising Venus and Jupiter. Show me the cards that I need to see. Show me the cards that I need to see. What type of love or energy is coming towards my cancers during the week of February 15th into the 29th. Okay. Okay, that feels great. Ooh, okay, here we go. So, we are dealing with an individual that is looking for an equal give and take. A person that is a charitable individual with the Six of Pentacles. A very charitable individual. This is an individual that has a great deal of civic-minded presence, if you will. So this is a person, in other words, that'll volunteer at a soup kitchen, they volunteer at charity events and things like that. So this person intuitively has a good naturedness about them. And also they're not only just willing to give their time, but they're also willing to give their money, their finances, if you will, also towards charitable causes and things of that nature. Now, this is an individual. We have the Four of Cups here. So this individual has already tried to approach you, but for some particular reason, I'm going to get some clarification on this, but for whatever particular reason, they tried to give you their cup of love and it was refused. Okay, so first of all, we're going to see if we can get some clarification on this. Give me some clarification on this Four of Cups. Why is this Four of Cups here? Give me some clarification on this Four of Cups. Why is this Four of Cups here? Give me some clarification on this Four of Cups here. Alrighty, so okay, so I see. This is an individual that a lot of contemplating, reflecting, and contemplating on the fact that actually they just felt like you left them out in the cold. So they did a lot of thinking, a lot of contemplating, and the vibe that I'm getting from the situation here is they can't quite figure out, even though they're one of the good guys in their mind, why you're not interested. Why aren't you showing the same type of affection and affinity for them as they have for you? Okay, that's what's going on in the mind of this individual right now. So they feel like they've been left out in the cold. That they thought about it, they reflected on it, and they're honestly they're at this point in time they're just kind of like in the state of stasis. They're just kind of frozen to the situation because they're having a hard time accepting and believing what's going on. They know they're a nice person. You know the old saying, "Nice guys finish last." So that's what they're kind of dealing with right now. This individual, however, is an Earth sign individual, Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo, and they do think that being with them will bring about a new opportunity, if you will. And with that being the case, again, even though they're frozen in stasis, they kind of got their heart out there. They're still kind of open to kind of taking that leap of faith. Okay, they got their heart out there. I mean, they may be frozen in stasis, but their heart's kind of just going with it. It's taking that leap of faith. Okay. Now there is at a point. I mean, they are a bit at a crossroads as well. Even though they're kind of, just kind of frozen there, can't figure out what's going on. You know, their head's telling them one thing, and their heart's telling them something else. Their head's telling them they're hitting their heart at this crossroad. Okay, we got the Two of Swords here. It's at this crossroads here. So their heart's telling them, hang in there. Hang in there. Give it time. Give it time. They'll see you. They'll recognize you. They know that they'll know that you're a good person, a good catch, a person with integrity, a person of morality, a person with spiritual, spiritual, mental desires that are leaning more towards a sense of creating something that's going to be beneficial for family, for finances. That's what their heart's telling them. Their head's telling them, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. Okay, that's what's going on with that. Right now, though, it seems like their heart's winning the battle over their head because they still have a great deal of spiritual passion and spiritual strength. Okay, that they have. They're doing a lot of contemplating, reflecting, hoping. Okay, but as I said previously in the clarification, they do feel like they're left out in the cold. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they feel as if they've been left out in the cold. And this is an individual, for all intents and purposes here. Before I go there, they want to recognize victory. Okay, they want to recognize victory. So they want to be able to show outward terms of affection. They want to meet your family. They want you to want to meet your family. They want you to meet their family, etc., etc. Now, with that being said, this could quite possibly just be an individual. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, anything necessarily wrong with them. They may really be into you. Obviously, they're really, really, really into you, and they want to spend the rest of their life with you. But sometimes, for whatever particular reason, things just don't click. And that's one of these situations where for whatever reason, things just aren't clicking. It doesn't matter how they are a decent person. You're not rude. You're not nasty. You're not trying to be vindictive. You just feel like, listen, you're a nice person. You're a nice guy. You're a nice girl. But I'm just really not into you. I have I'm kind of, you're not really attracted to them physically. You're not really attracted to them spiritually. Just things just aren't clicking. and that's okay, but that's what's going on here. This is one of them type of situations where, on paper it looks one way, but in reality it's another way. And there's just nothing there. All right. So with that being said, let's see what the blockage is to this particular situation. What are the blockages to this situation? What are the blockages to this situation? What are the blockages to this particular situation? Okay, here we go. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Well, that's interesting. So, for whatever particular reason here, okay, these are the blockages to this situation. So give me a minute. So, again, this person's really nice, really giving, very charitable. The blockages are Seven of Swords. So, even though that may be the case, with you, in your mind, it's like, you know what? There's something just not quite right here. There's got to be, there's got to be something else going on here. This is too good to be true type of thing, and so there's some doubt that you have about this person actually being the person that they're coming off being. There's a bit of cynicism that you're kind of going through right now when it comes to this individual. In regards to just not really kind of clicking with the individual, there's a certain level of suspicion that you have that, this situation, everything that glitters here is not exactly gold. There's just it's hard for you to come to terms with the fact that this person actually inhabits all of these attributes here. In addition here, you're looking for a soulmate connection. And as I said before, things aren't just clicking between you and this individual. There's not really no attraction there. Okay. We have the moon card too. These are all blockages here. Okay. Again, you can't help shake the feeling that there's something deceptive there. In your mind, like this person is too good to be true. This. I'm not buying this. This act of them being, being humanitarian of the world type of thing. So there's a level of skepticism and sarcasm, if you will, that you're not really believing this person is who they're coming off as being. So again, for whatever reason, it's just things just aren't clicking here. Also, we have the Tower moment here. Okay, and so again, this goes a little bit but beyond the level of skepticism, and again, for whatever reason, this again is really one of them situations where for whatever reason, you're just really not into them. For whatever reason, they could be a nice guy, nice girl. Everyone can love them. Your parents can think you can make a good friend. The friends can think they'd be a good friend. You guys will make a great couple. You guys have similar interests. You always say how you want to be with a nice guy, a nice girl. You always say you want a nice person in your life to grow with. But for whatever reason, it's just not clicking here. And that's why you got the Seven of Swords here. You got the Moon card here. You got the Tower here. As a blockage, it's just like you're really not into this individual, and in your mind, these are red flags that are coming up to you. Now, again, they may or may not be true. I'm getting a sense here that this is not necessarily true of what you're feeling about this individual, but for whatever reason, you're just not. There's no harmony there. Okay. And so, in your mind, it's like, well, this and this bothers me. All right, even if it's a little unfair, still, nevertheless, you're just not really into them. And so, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. So again, you don't really feel like there's a real opportunity. There's a real solid opportunity here. Long-term committed relationship with possible children. Again, not really feeling it, not into it. Your wishes are not going to be fulfilled being with this individual because there's no physical attraction, there's no mental attraction. There's just nothing there. And finally, emotional King of Swords here. Being emotionally solid, making wise choices when it comes to making the hard decisions. You just feel as though, you really couldn't build anything of substance with this individual. Okay, so let's see what your strengths are. So, Magician, you have the ability to manifest the reality that you want. Okay, again, with this particular situation, this individual just may not be an individual you can see yourself manifesting the reality that you want. And when you do manifest that reality, you have a different version in your mind of what a harmonious utopia type situation would look like, and it's not with someone like this. Okay. Also, we have here the Four of Wands. So you definitely are being open. You definitely are open to having a long-term committed relationship with the right individual. You don't mind sharing your dreams, your hopes, and aspirations with the right individual. Also, you really don't mind taking that leap of faith. You really don't mind taking the leap of faith with the right individual. Okay? Page of Wands, new, fresh, exploratory energy. Now that may really be at the cusp of the issue here. Is not only are you just really not attracted to the individual, but you're looking for something new, something fresh, something different, something that something exploratory, something that you're not used to, something something a little different, and or in this case maybe a lot different, and maybe that's also what the issue here is too. Your life is changing direction here. And this is this may be something just too familiar to you. You want something new, something different. Also, signification of the Death card. Endings, new beginnings, starting something new, something fresh, out with the old, in with the new energy. Okay, could even transform into younger energy. Could even be a younger type of energy and a younger type of spark that you're looking for here. So again, it just could just be that you're just looking for something different, even though there may be, again, there's not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with this individual, anything that's necessarily wrong with you. It's just that you're just looking for something different, and this person just isn't it. And finally here, Two of Wands, you're aware that you do have choices. Okay, you have two distinct choices. You can either go with this individual and just in your mind, there's a sense of settling for what you consider to be, not necessarily saying that's the issue, but in your mind you could just be in your mind settling for something that's sense of mediocrity, like just middle of the road, or that you're kind of trying to hold out for something that really you know you know gets your juices flowing, really kind of get that sense of getting butterflies in your stomach, if you will, kind of really sparks that sense of adventure, of mystery, something new, something exciting, even in terms of something maybe exotic, again, something different than what you're used to. So again, there's not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with this individual, not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with you. It's just like oil and vinegar, just oil and water, excuse me, rather. It just doesn't jive, doesn't mix together. So with that being said, let's see what additional things Spirit want to say before I shut this thing down. What additional information Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down? What additional information Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down? Me time. Enjoy your own company. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're enjoying your own company. You're pretty much okay with staying still, staying in place until you find that spark that you're looking for. Okay, so you're comfortable in your own space. You're enjoying your own time. In other words, you're okay with being single until you find that individual that you really have that commonality with, that you're looking for to kind of take you to the next phase of a relationship. So right now you're pretty much, in other words, it just, Spirit's saying just continue to do you. All right. We have where you are is where is that. Stay still until you are divinely moved. Spirit's kind of doubling down on that message of me time. It's pretty much saying, just kind of stay where you're at. It's not time for you to move. Again, it's okay. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, anything wrong with them, that you guys just really just don't have any kind of, chemistry as far as you're concerned. And finally here we have Knights of the Round Table, let their love lift you higher. Again, in terms of the situation, let the love they have for you, it can lift you higher. It can make you feel like this is great. It's great to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved, but at the same time, you don't have to cut them off in their entirety. So, there's no need to cut them off as far as friendship goes. Okay. because that love can be, maybe this can become a friendship, if you will, a very tight, deep friendship. That's very unlikely, however, because if a person really feels this strongly about you, you know, they're never going to get over the fact that you're just not into them. But if you're open to the idea of having a deep friendship, you know, that energy that could lift, you know, that you can let that elevate you. However, Spirit's also saying it's okay to just be where you're at until you find that thing in which sparks your interest. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to shut this thing down now. This is a general love reading. It may not resonate with everybody, and if it doesn't, that's okay. Um, if this does resonate with you and you want to know a little bit more, again, the link will be below. Feel free to get a personal reading. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. You want to know a little something about your personal situation, again, the link will be below. If you haven't already, please like, please share, and please subscribe. My name is Adonis. I love you guys, and I will definitely see you next time.